Hello viewers, you're welcome to Krista Talk Show. My name is Abimbola Sunday. With me on the show today is Mr. Amjad Shah. So, Mr. Shah, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Oh hi, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me and having me on your small show. I'm originally a media consultant and my background is community and youth worker. I've worked in Home Office for about 15 years as a community worker.
Oh, really?
So that's my background, but for the past few years I've been working as a media consultant. I've been doing lots of media projects as promote. That's my background.
All right. I'm aware you've done a lot of community work. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Like I just said, that I have been a community and youth worker for about 15 years in one of the county council Home Office there, and my projects used to be based on young people the majority of the time, especially the vulnerable people, the people who are at risk, that sort we call the people who are out of education, the people who are out of employment, or they may be involved in vandalism or small criminalities. I used to work with all those people, putting them back into the education and employment and trying to basically make them a positive citizen again.
Okay, so Mr. Shah, how do you see the black ethnic minority in the UK and their issues?
Right, I'm gonna go back 60s and 70s, when especially the black ethnic minorities, black community, were actually struggling to raise their identification in this country or in the continent.
1 minute, for the benefit of those that doesn't know what that means, can you expatiate on
basically that was the time when a large number of black community actually came into the Europe and into the UK especially. I'm talking about your parents or your grandparents. And when they came in this country, there was so much hurdles, there was so much areas where they had to struggle about to basically make their own ways and get their own identification basically known to all the other peoples. The problem then, even now, the Asian community came after. Now 30 years later, the Asian community went exactly the same issues, same problem that the black community went through about 30 years ago.
Wow. So do you think the black ethnic minority, do you think they have the same equal opportunity to tap into the system, especially when it comes to media and showbiz in United Kingdom or Europe as a whole?
Well, you know, I always say one line there. In this society, there is no justice, just us. Now, basically, in terms of the opportunities, in terms of the having something in your way, I do not agree with that fully. Yes, there are opportunities, but there are loads of hurdles are in our way. I'll give you one example. I used to be a chair of a higher secondary school and a college, and I used to hear all these stories. One of my friends applied for a place in a grammar school for a child in another grammar school. When she ran to the school and gave her own name, background and everything, she was refused. Now next time, few days later, next time, she rang again and pretended to be local white people and gave the wrong name, and she was accepted straight away. So these are kind of things always been happening in everywhere. And
do you think it's going to change, or it's ever going to change, or it's always going to remain like that?
Well, it's changing. It's changing, but not to full extent, and it will be there. Now the way the things are going around the world, I'm talking about the hatred against each other cultures and religions. People, because of not having enough knowledge about religions or cultural background, people actually judge other people what the media actually tells them. Now the media actually tells them what media actually wants you and me to believe.
Okay, I'm going to give you a good example this morning. I have to take a taxi, and the taxi driver was asking me for my background, and I said Nigeria, and immediately he said, "Oh, Ebola." I was like, "What's he talking about?"
Exactly.
You know, I just have to go like, "Okay, sorry, I'm going to take another taxi." What have you got to say to that?
Exactly, this is a judgment. People are becoming very judgmental these days. They don't want you to know what kind of a person you are inside. Oh, once you told them where I'm from, maybe they had some experience, maybe they've heard wrong stories. They're like, I want to stay away. Now, I'm here for the first time. Majority of you have not met me before. Now, I'm a Pakistani Muslim person. Now, after today, maybe you have some sort of opinion about Muslim people, about Pakistani people, oh, what they are about. So this is a parent judgment. Now, once I've met you, you've known me, you've seen me, maybe you have a different opinion about me personally.
Yeah.
So this is what it is, until you know something.
Okay, Mr. Shah, I would like to ask another interesting question, which is about overseas students. You know, we all know loads of students are having problems in the UK, especially with settlement, how to probably renew their visa, getting jobs has become an issue for overseas students now. What do you think is the main cause of this, and what do you think such students can do?
Right. Overseas students, regardless of their cultural background, whichever countries they are from, majority of the students in this country are facing the same problem. Now, the problem majority of the time they are facing is actually, to my knowledge, is based on immigration issues, basically. Now, the education over here is so expensive for all these overseas students. Now, majority of these students are actually from underdeveloped countries or non-developed countries, basically. They want to make their higher education over here and want to make their future brighter. Majority of the time over here, education has become a business, not a service.
Yeah.
Now, all these colleges, recently, even in only Manchester, hundreds of colleges have been shut down.
Yeah.
The students were there, they don't know where to go, what to do. Now, curtailment, if a student or a college gets shut down, all those students should have been under curtailment, which is up to 60 days, they have been given 60 to 90 days, given a chance. Most of them students have not received. Problem here is that quite a lot of students actually are not genuine. I have to admit that. They're not genuine. They only get the admission just to get in this country, and once they go into this country, they don't go to college. All they do, working underhand somewhere illegally.
So what about the genuine ones?
Yeah, good question. Do
you think it's fair on the genuine ones?
No, it's not fair. It's always unfair. It's always
despite
the genuine
how much
people.
They are paying thousands of pounds.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
we have a lot of students coming into this country to do their master's degree, and
it is. It is.
They are getting nothing back in return.
I think what they need to do in this kind of situation, they need to go somewhere, some professional advice.
Okay.
What to do next. There are ways. This government will not just pick you and just chuck you out straight away. They have to follow the procedure, which is like curtailment, and then if you received a letter, if you not received a letter, even though if you've heard that your college has been shut down, go for an advice and go for another college, get another admission. But the problem here is, majority of these colleges, they are shut. They just run off with your money, and you have to fork out for another money to get another admission, which is very, very difficult for majority of the students.
And is the government doing anything about that?
The government's policy and government's attitude is, once the college is doing wrong, we've shut down the college. It's not our problem. It's your problem now.
Wow.
This is the attitude of Home Office, unfortunately.
Okay, Mr. Shah, I would like to ask you another important question, and that is about those that are living in this country illegally. Do you think there's any future hope for them? as we all know, there are loads and loads of people from different parts of the world living in this country illegally in search of greener pasture. So do you think it's going to continue like that, or there will be such of an amnesty in the near future, or what do you think? Do you have any advice for them?
I personally don't see any amnesty, to be honest.
Okay.
The reason is, if you see the way Home Office is going about immigration, every 6 months or every year they change something. The law. I mean, the legacy law has been changed. I mean, from 10 to 14, 14 to now 20 years. I mean, who will stay 20 years to get amnesty? You know, it's a long period. You know, you can't see your family, you can't see your kids if you have kids back or whatever. But the thing is, with this immigration, it's all derived by economical social pressure. Now, this government is going a huge amount of economical social pressure there. Jobs going, their businesses going down. As a matter of fact, the whole capitalism is collapsing, basically. And as a result, you see around the world, everything is going down. Especially the Europe has got hit by it, because Europe was very much based on capitalism, and capitalism going down. Every few hundred years, the system, barter system, any barter system goes down. Socialism gone down, communism gone down. Now this is the capitalism gone down. It's because of the economical pressure.
Okay. The last question I'm going to be asking you is going to be on inequality. As we all know, there has been lots of people being treated indifferently, even at the hospitals, in schools, even in stores. What have you got to say to that?
Well,
and what do you think those of us affected can do?
I think over there I would challenge people's humanity inside, basically. If I am a person who actually value the humanity, I personally would have my own choices not to discriminate against you. Now the government cannot do much about it. They try to monitor everything, but it's person to person. If I like being a human being and like you as a human being, then I should think about whatever I'm saying and doing. If I cannot accept it, why should I do it to others? If I do not like to be abused, why should I abuse others? Now, based on these basic principles, this attitude will not rectified until we personally or individually look into it. Government, there's laws about it, government is doing a lot about it, but unfortunately is misconception going around, and I will blame, being a media person, I will blame the media.
Okay. Okay, viewers, I'm sure we've all learned a lot from Mr. Shah, and it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you very much, and nice meeting you.
Thank you. Join us again on the next episode, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, Crystal Talk Show, and on YouTube, Crystal Talk Show. Thank you.